I don't think it can be done in 2 days a week or even 3 days a week. I think you got to have a total commitment to it. And I realize this doesn't pay anything. It pays $15,000 a year. Down the road, you know, the citizens may decide they want something like Charleston has or North Charleston. They may want to have a mayor who runs the city. Now, Charleston, they pay Joe Riley $155,000 a year, and he runs the city. They pay Keith Summy $135,000, and he runs the city. If we want to go to that, I wouldn't be opposed to that, but the only way that can happen is a majority of council has to vote to put it on the ballot. And then 2 years from now, you would have a referendum, and if the people want to do that, then you change the form of government. And then the next mayor who's elected could be elected under that, and he would be paid better, and he'd be a full-time employee of the city. But that can't happen in this next 4-year period. It's just not physically possible. The other way you can do it, if you don't want to do I think you could get, I know you could get me, and I think you could get 3 other council members to vote to put it on the ballot. So I think that's the simple way. But if you don't want to do that, I think you can do, and you can help me with that, maybe 15% of the voters can petition to have a referendum for a change of government. I think that's the other part of the law.
Yeah, because I've heard Keith Summy say all you had to do is change one letter in Somerville and it could be Summyville.
Yeah, and I mean, he's working on it very
That's horrible.
Diligently.
I would say most of the population probably has no clue what type of mayor we have.
They don't have a clue.
No, right.
They really don't.
So I think an education process there.
Oh, sure. And you know, if you decided to have the referendum, then you could put it on the ballot, and that would give people an opportunity over a 2-year period until they had the election to talk about the pros and cons and maybe have some public forums on it or whatever. But if you did it, it would have to make sense. I mean, you certainly wouldn't want to have a full-time mayor paying $100,000 a year or $80,000 or whatever you decide to pay, and then have 3 people at City Hall making $300,000. I mean, the city'd go under before you know it. So you got to do one or the other.
You like that city in California.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I would not want to be one of those mayors.
Joe, what's your opinion about when we have our town elections and that we have them on an off-cycle?
Well, there's a real reason we have them like that. It's to benefit the incumbents, as you know, and it's always been that way. But most cities have them in off years. If you notice, Chicago just had elected their new mayor, and it's off year. They do them because they don't want a big turnout, and they want to have control, and that's why it's done. I was at the council meeting and been to a couple of council meetings when Joe Dabney, the guy from the election commission, came and talked and said, how about moving? It'd be easier on us to run your elections if you do that, but he didn't get any traction. So I wouldn't have a problem with changing it. It wouldn't matter to me, but I think you'd have to sell a majority of council on that as well.
Mm-hmm. Seems like a huge waste of money to me.
Yeah.
To not do it all at one time.
Is there anything you want to ask us as a board of DREAM that you perhaps would like more information about?
Well, no, I am a fan of DREAMS, and I think y'all have done a remarkable job in a pretty short period of time. I hope, though, that going forward, I want the city of Somerville over the next 8 years to be the most vibrant city in South Carolina. I want people all over South Carolina talking about what's happening in Somerville and what's going on here. So I want y'all to be, to generate ideas, off-the-wall ideas. I don't know what we'll do and what we can't do, but I want us to have so many people enthusiastic about Somerville that they are willing to step out and say, why don't we have this? Why don't we do this? And from that, I think you'll get some good ideas. I believe that over the 40 years almost that I've lived here, that people have moved here from all over, who have lived all over the world. They've lived everywhere. They've seen things done in any number of different ways. I think if we simply reach out, and I'd like to do that, reach out to them and say, we want you to be involved. And we might have 2 or 3 public forums when we invite people just to come and give us a wish list of what you wish Somerville could be or could have. And it might get a committee of 5 or 6 to take those 400 or 500 ideas and whittle them down to 25 or 30 that we would then use as a roadmap for the next 4 years or the 3 years or whatever. But I think I want you to come up with new ideas. Everything you've done, let's say, has been great. What's next?
Well, we do have a very good director,
Oh, you do?
Yes, we
You
do.
really do.
who has done quite a few new things for
She
us in
has.
the year that
You're
she's been
very
here.
fortunate, very
We have
fortunate,
been very fortunate.
absolutely, absolutely.
Has it only been a year, or does it feel?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years, oh, it's
Almost
2
2
years.
years.
I thought it'd
Oh,
been
my
about
God.
5.
Yeah, it feels like it.
The year before that seemed like 15 years. This seems like nothing.
That's right, it is, it'll be 2 years in
Yeah.
July.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one challenge is that we are this board that you see here, and 1.5 employees, and a limited budget. So what ways do you see the city of Somerville assisting in generating some of those exciting activities and events?
Well, I can see the city of Somerville maybe hiring a cultural affairs director. I don't know what you'd call them, cultural affairs. I think Charleston has one. Ellen Morrill, I know Ellen. And then North Charleston has one, I think. So I could see us doing that. If we can do that, then that person needs to bring together all of the organizations in the town who are doing different things and work with them to kind of enhance what they're doing and expand what they're doing. And I think if you had one person who could focus on that, he or she could generate ideas, and I'd like to be involved in that. I have wild ideas, and so I need somebody to hold some of that back. But you know, if you don't have ideas,
That's right.
where do you go? You know, another thing I thought about, what if we were to,
That's right.
that's right.
Just didn't go to Walmart and have that ideas.
What if we were to move, I want to do, not just for the central business district, I think we need to do something for the Oak Brook area. I think we need to do something for this northeast quadrant that I talked about a while ago. I'd like to see us do something out in the Niceville area. You realize our city limits runs from the interstate to Niceville and from the interstate to Oak Brook. That's a huge,
What we need to do is
Now, it's
expand
still
the Sawmill
pieces.
Branch Trail and have it connect all those areas.
Terrific.
through biking paths.
and that's another, the Sawmill Branch Trail is a great asset, but it needs attention. And I'd like to see, we tried through something else we've organized called the Ambassadors of 1847 to do something with that. And we want to go out to these industries that have German industries and Japanese industries and Finnish and all this and approach them and say, do something on the trail for us. Put up a little venue about that tells the story of your business or your country along the trail. And then we'll try to raise some money to have maybe a couple of warm-up stations along the thing. There are a lot of things to be
I'd
done.
like to just get some kind of association with the Audubon folks up at Beadler, Vidler,
Yeah.
I never say it right, and get them to come down and identify the flowers along there.
That'd be
Kinda
terrific.
Make it more of an Audubon trail and kind of and maybe do some light landscaping or at least wildflower gardening and parks of it. I mean, it's the best resources down here.
It's wonderful, yeah.
And get out
And
there,
I bet
take
you'd be
coffee,
amazed to know how few people from here ever go up to Vidler Forest.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. So bring that down here.
Right.
That's right.
That's right.
Cool.
That's right.
Well, we have a few items for you to take with you. Susan pulled together.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is our strategic work planning brainstorming session.
Okay.
And these were things that Dream identified as important things they wanted to work on. And this is an article that you may have seen in session.
Okay.
And these were things that Dream identified as important things they wanted to work on. And this is an article that you may have seen in Parade Magazine, kind of on the ideal community and what they
What
stress.
it looks like?
Yes, yeah. And can you hand me one of the new newsletters there? And then this is
Something
just,
exciting outside the box too, maybe a poster.
there you go.
Yes, this
yeah.
is the
gonna
Somerville
make me
Has
wear that?
Talent. Somerville's Got Talent.
This is information on Somerville Dream that we wanted
Okay,
to
okay,
give to you.
all right.
And that is our newest out-of-the-box thing.
Yeah.
The talent, I know a little bit about the talent contest. I was disappointed. You don't want any old folks
No,
singing.
no, we
You don't have an old adult
Oh,
category.
the
do you?
only, you have to be 8. That's the
You have
only
to be
age limit.
8 and breathing, kind of like coroners.
That's right, that's good. No, I think that's interesting. I think that'll be fun.
I do too, I do too.
Got enough?
Yes.
Thank you.